The smell of burning rubber still crawls into my dreams some nights. And yeah, I hate that it's not even from the day at Ridgemont High, but from the memory it dragged up my mom's car. Twisted metal, smoke curling into an autumn sky. Funny how trauma overlaps like that. I should have walked away that Tuesday afternoon. Should have stayed home, finished my calculus homework. Whatever normal kids do. But Mom used to say interesting things happen when important people think they're alone, and damn if I didn't inherit that curiosity from her. The parking garage behind Ridgemont's athletic complex was supposed to be empty at 4:30. Perfect light slipped through the concrete slats, throwing those dramatic shadows my photography advisor MS. Chin obsessed over. I was belly down on the cold floor, trying to capture oil stains that looked like abstract art, when I heard voices bouncing off the walls. "You're late," a voice said. "Garrett Ashford." Even if you'd been at Ridgemont for only 3 weeks like I had, you knew that voice. Lacrosse captain, honor roll. That all-American smile that made moms hand over their daughters with zero hesitation. I should have packed up my camera right there, but Mom's voice wouldn't let me. "Look at the shoes first," she'd always said. Through my viewfinder, I watched Garrett approach a man in a maintenance uniform. But his shoes, too nice, expensive leather loafers that screamed not a janitor. He handed Garrett a backpack, heavy enough to dip Garrett's shoulder. Garrett peeked inside, and the sunlight kissed those prescription bottles like they were amber jewels. Click, click, click. My finger moved on instinct. Too loud. Garrett's head snapped up, predator sharp, scanning. I pressed myself flat against the pillar, tasting dust and oil, heart banging in my ears. "What was that?" the man said, his hand brushing something bulky under his uniform. Garrett walked closer, his shoes stopping just 3 feet from my face. I didn't breathe. "Nobody here." He called back, but then, quieter, "Just for me, but if someone is." "Ridgemont's dangerous for snoops." I stayed frozen until their engines faded. My Nikon heavy in my hands like it was glowing radioactive. That night I couldn't eat, couldn't stop thinking of Mom's last story before she died. Prescription pills, high schools. Rich kids overdosing while someone got richer. I almost told my grandfather, Victor, but lying to a former Spetsnaz operative isn't easy, you know what I mean? His gray eyes cut through me over dinner. "Your mother had same look," he said. "Be careful, Ivushka." The next morning Garrett was leaning against my locker like he'd been waiting all his life. Up close, he was the kind of perfect that made girls write his name in hearts. "Evelyn, right? Or do you prefer Evie?" Nobody had called me that since Chicago, since Mom. "I hear you're into photography," he said smoothly. "Got tickets to the Aurora concert this weekend. You could shoot it. Light show's amazing. $300 tickets. Strings attached. Always." "I'm busy," I said. "Busy? You just moved here." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Family stuff? Your grandfather, right? Victor Novak, the mechanic?" His tone tightened around my ribs. He knew way too much. And then, as I tried to pass, he added casually, "Nice camera. Nikon D750. Same as your mom's. Shame about that accident. Brakes, right?" So sudden. I kept walking, legs jelly, because Mom's death wasn't public knowledge. Only someone with deep connections would know that. And Garrett had just told me I was on his radar. By lunch, the attack came. My Instagram exploded with a fake photo, me handing cash to some hoodie-wearing dealer, captioned, "Apple doesn't fall far from the dead tree." Kids whispered. Teachers stared. Victor noticed my silence at dinner, but I couldn't tell him. Last time Mom followed a story like this, 2 weeks later we were burying her. That night, someone popped my locker. Nothing missing. Just moved. A message. "We can reach you anywhere." I should have given up. Should have deleted the photos. But Mom didn't raise me like that. I encrypted them, sent backups to her old insurance email. Thought I was being smart. Then came the text. A warehouse address. Come alone or else. Attached. Victor at the grocery store, crosshairs photoshopped over his head. I left him a note. following Mom's footsteps. Love you. The warehouse loomed like a broken tooth against the Portland sky. Garrett was waiting, leaning casual against a chair under a single bulb. Mask completely off now. Most people take the hint after the Instagram post, he said. But you just like Mommy, huh? Leave my mom out of this. She didn't leave my family out of her stories. He snapped, stepping closer. You didn't know? She was sniffing around pharmaceutical distribution networks. My dad's company. That's why she had to go. My breath caught. He said it like it was no big deal, like murder was just business. You're going to delete those photos, he said, circling me like a shark. Then transfer schools. Tonight your grandfather will get a generous offer for his garage, enough to move far away. Everyone wins. And if I don't? He grinned. Too close now. Expensive cologne making me sick. Then we find out if you inherited more than curiosity, maybe even her bad luck with breaks. You know what? That was the moment something snapped. Victor's words came back. The strong man believes his strength makes him safe. I smiled, and Garrett's grin faltered. You know what I inherited from my mom? I said softly. What's that? Her contacts. Officer Ramirez says hi. The warehouse doors blew open like a scene from a movie, red and blue lights cutting through the dark. Portland PD. Nobody moved. Garrett lunged, grabbing me, but muscle memory kicked in. Victor had drilled that pressure point strike into me until I could do it half asleep. My thumb hit the nerve under his ear. He dropped, gasping, staring up at me in shock. As cops cuffed his buddies, Ramirez rushed over. You okay, Evelyn? Yeah, I said, but my hands shook, because this wasn't over. Couldn't be. And then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text. Your mother was getting close. The real network is bigger than you know. Check your email. Later, in Victor's garage. We cracked open Mom's hidden compartment in his old Mustang. A flash drive, a notebook, and one photo. Mom standing beside a woman in front of the Oregon Capitol, powerful, polished, smiling like a wolf. Catherine Marsh, Governor's Chief of Staff. The files told a story worse than anything Garrett could dream of. Scholarships for gifted kids from poor families. Kids who vanished after graduation, scrubbed from records, placed in positions of power. Not trafficking in the way people think. Grooming. Creating an army. Sleeper agents across tech, politics, law enforcement. Mom had connected Marsh to dozens of missing students. The last video broke me. Mom, sitting in our Chicago kitchen, looking straight at me. If you're watching this, baby, I'm gone. Don't finish this story alone. Take it to Frank Morrison at the Tribune. Be smarter than me. I love you. I had 24 hours before whoever killed her came for me too. But when Trinity Williams showed up in the garage, dressed in black, Marcus Chin behind her with his laptop, I realized I wasn't alone. They'd been investigating, too. Trinity's sister had vanished. Marcus's sister had been bought off. And they had a plan. Crash Marsh's private fundraiser, catch her confessing, blow it wide open. That night, wearing Mom's old cocktail dress. Wired to hell and back, I walked into the lion's den. Marsh smiled when she saw me. Evelyn Novak, she said. We've been watching you since this morning. You're exactly the kind of student we look for, brilliant, driven, alone. I'm not alone, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. And as her smile slipped, I did what Mom never got the chance to do. I burned it all down. By the time the FBI stormed in, Catherine Marsh was in cuffs, screaming about how I didn't understand, how she was saving those kids. Maybe she believed that. Maybe some people always will. 6 months later, the headlines were everywhere. Trials, indictments, 43 missing kids rescued, most struggling to reclaim their identities. Garrett Ashford flipped on his father, rotting in federal prison now. But the list Marsh kept was long. Too long. And when Trinity sent me a link to another school in California, same pattern. Same disappearances, I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my camera, Mom's old Nikon for luck, and headed for the door. Victor looked up from his Mustang. Banutka, where you go? To ask uncomfortable questions, I said. Outside, Trinity and Marcus were already in the car, laptops and coffee cups piled in the back seat. We weren't just kids anymore. We were lightning now, striking wherever the darkness hid, one flash at a time. Truth, Mom used to say, was what powerful people decided it was. But maybe, just maybe, we could decide differently. So yeah, that's the story. That's how I stopped being just Evelyn Novak, transfer student, and started being something else. But here's the thing. Marsh was right about one thing. Cut off one head. Two grow back. So tell me, if you had the chance to tear down a system built on stolen kids and corrupted power, but it meant risking everything, your family, your life, would you do it? Because me? I already chose.